And it's the penultimate day of the Cannes Film Festival. Let's cross to France 24 culture editor Yves Jackson, who's on the French Riviera. Yves, a film is causing a lot of controversy, and this from a former Golden Palme winner.
That's right, Francois. Bringing up the rear in more ways than one at this year's Cannes Film Festival is the movie Mektub, My Love, Intermezzo. Now, this is the first film that I've seen here that's really made people, critics, journalists, everyone pretty angry. Now, it comes from the filmmaker Abdelatif Kechiche, who won the Palme d'Or a few years ago in 2013 with his lesbian love story Blue is the Warmest Colour. Now, this film is the second part in his summer-loving saga that premiered in Venice in 2017. Here's the director now speaking at the press conference today.
The most important thing for me was to celebrate life, love, to celebrate desire, music, to celebrate the body. In other words, to try and create a liberating, cinematic experience, and to find other forms of storytelling by breaking out of certain restrictions.
Forcé à sortir de ses règles.
The thing this movie definitely was celebrating is females' bottoms, Francois. It's basically a 3.5 lap dance movie with the director fascinated with the female form, notably the bottom half of the female form. Never has a movie had so many close-ups of women's buttocks. Now, it's all but plotless, and it spends more than 2 hours in a nightclub watching young women twerking, and it's set in the 90s. It wasn't twerking then, so it's not even realistic. This is really a succession of bum notes.
All right, that one's not going to win the Golden Palme by what you're saying, Yves.
I'm hoping not.
At this point in time, because we're now, 24 hours from the awards ceremony. How's it looking?
Well, 2019 has been a stellar year for film at the Cannes Film Festival. Really one of the best crops in years. Now, for the best, this year's big prize, the Palme d'Or, I'm going to be putting my money on the Spanish Haenel, Pedro Almodovar. Now, he's never won it. He's been in the competition several times, numerous times, and he is loved here at the Cannes Film Festival. His movie is called Pain and Glory. Now, it is a tribute to film, but it's also about the director's own personal life journey and his career. And Antonio Banderas stars as him. Have a look. Now, for the Best Actor prize, I really hope it goes to Brad Pitt for his role as a stunt double to Leonardo DiCaprio in Quentin Tarantino's love letter to Hollywood, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He really is fantastic in that role. And for the Best Actress, I think it could be a double prize for the actresses in Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Adele, Haenel and Noemie Merlant.
So, some prizes have already been given out, by the way. The Palme Dog prize. Explain that one.
The Palme Dog has been awarded to the best dog on screen at the Cannes Film Festival since 2001. So this is a serious prize, Francois. And the pit bull who wolfed up cans of tinned rat in Quentin Tarantino's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has been awarded this year's Palme Dog. Now, Brandy was Brad Pitt's dog in the movie. The dog himself wasn't there to collect the prize, but Quentin Tarantino was.
All right, so Quentin Tarantino there to collect the Palme Dog. We've been talking a lot, and we talked about it earlier in the week, Yves, in the France 24 debate, whether or not Cannes has gone far enough in achieving gender parity. How's it looking this year?
There's there's a lot of debate about this subject, Francois. Critics say too few movies directed by women are competing in the Cannes main competition. Now, of the 21 films competing this year, 4 are directed by women, and one of those women is the Austrian director, Jessica Hausner. Now, I interviewed her, and you can see that a little bit later on in my encore show. Her film is called Little Joe. It's her first English-speaking offering, and Emily Beecham stars as Alice, who is a workaholic scientist who's working on developing a plant to make people happy. Here she is.
It's an antidepressant plant. It emits a scent that makes you only happy. And she also has a son called Joe. Joe takes a backseat to her work, so she's got a lot of inner conflict about that. It's really clever what Jessica's done, because this undercurrent all the time of this paranoia and insecurity starting to creep, and then it's sort of a bit like a game of snakes and ladders. It kind of, one minute she believes another thing and then it's not, and then she realises it was just herself and she's just completely paranoid. So I think it feeds in really well to her kind of niggling, uncomfortable guilt about possibly feeling like she's neglecting Joe.
This is a very special breed. You have to take good care of it. Keep it warm. Talk to it.
Really?
It's a living being. It needs attention and affection.
What's so special about it?
It makes you happy.
And you can watch the rest of my interview with Emily Beecham and her director, Jessica Hausner, at 11:15 at Paris time. And if you missed that, you can catch up online at france24.com.
And you said at the outset, Eva, this was one of the best years in recent memory for the films that have been in competition at Cannes.
Well, I've been coming for the past 10 years, and I'd say this has really had some of the best films I've ever seen at the Cannes Film Festival. Maybe not the most starry of films, but definitely the most enjoyable and the biggest range of movies. There have been giants of film here in 2019. We've had 6 former Palme d'Or winners in the Cannes competition, including Ken Loach and the Dardenne brothers, who we actually interviewed earlier in the week. And there have been strong political movies like Lajli's Les Miserables, which talks about police violence in the suburbs outside of Paris, and Sorry We Missed You from Ken Loach, which talks about the modern life, modern poverty in today's Britain. We've also dealt with contemporary issues like climate change, the refugee crisis, in Islamic fundamentalism. And there's been lots of genre movies as well, science fiction like in Little Joe and Bacaro, the Brazilian film. And we've also had zombies and ghosts like in The Dead Don't Die, which opened the Cannes Film Festival, and Atlantics. And we've also had westerns in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Saying there haven't been that many stars, there have been a few. We've had Brad Pitt on the red carpet, as well as Leonardo DiCaprio, which got a lot of hearts beating and hearts racing here at the Cannes Film Festival. It really has been such a wide-ranging festival. There's definitely something for everyone.
And when you watch the movies, part of it is how good the movies are, but also part of it is, well, whether or not you can read what the jury is going to decide.
It's absolutely impossible, Francois, to guess what the jury is going to decide. Every single year we try and have a go at wondering what they might think. We think, oh, the Inarritu, he's a Spanish-speaking director, perhaps he's going to like the Pedro Almodovar film. Or, you know, it's a totally fruitless task, but we still do it anyway. I've given my predictions of who's going to win the big prizes this year, but, you know, it comes through, and sometimes it's just a massive shock.
All right, many thanks, Eve Jackson. We'll be crossing to you live, of course, on Saturday for the results of the Cannes Film Festival. Many thanks for that update from the festival. Stay with us. There's more to come here on France 24. Catherine Nicholson will be along with reactions to Theresa May's resignation smack in the middle of those European elections. Her Europe report is next.